Hello and good afternoon to everybody. My name is Marta. Welcome to our webinar about getting your training CPD ready. And the question is how to use this learn, earn and share model that we have developed here at Open CPD to a maximum impact of your training or event. So let's have a quick look at what we're going to cover today. First of all, we're going to tell you a little bit about who we are at Open CPD. And what is this learn it, earn it, and share it model, how it works. We're going to look at some practical examples and specifically about the webinar today. So if you think about today as a lifelong learning event, which it is, you will have taken away some learning, and we're going to see how that can be defined, and we give you some support and tools to do that. And also, once that we have done that, that is obviously a potential for leveraging it to making the most of your brand and helping your attendees to share their achievements, and a little bit about what to do next after today. And so let's get starting. Today's webinar is going to be recorded. I will be emailing the webinar recording for you attend. Thank you for attending. And also at the very end, attendees will receive a certificate for today's session, because hopefully you will have learned something. So let's get going. If you imagine the world from the point of view of your attendees, they just finished a wonderful learning training course, webinar, event. And the question is what it is that they take away from it. Do they perhaps need some evidence that they have done that? Maybe they would like to they are proud of their achievement. They might want to share it, or maybe they just want to remember later on what the key items that they learned, without having to look up the manual, without having to look up all the material that you might have provided. So they want to remember what today was all about. But also, as well as remembering, they might want to show it to their employer, to a recruiter. Maybe they want to add it to their evidence that they're building up for maybe some professional body. But it would be good for them. They might want to show today's learning to a specific person or a specific body, but also they might want to do that with the overall community. Maybe they have achieved something. Maybe this is something they want to add to their LinkedIn profile, where they want to shout about it. So what can they do today? Before you came along to Open CPD, the options are rather limited. Sometimes there is a confirmation email that might have gone out from this was today's event. Thank you very much for attending. Or in other cases, you might get a certificate, which is very pretty and professional, but not necessarily informative. And sometimes you may or may not get a badge from a commercial CPD provider. It's just to mention in passing that these are not regulators, these are not authorities, they are commercial companies that sell these badges to various people. But it's difficult to make sure that what was learned leaves a lasting imprint. And so here at Open CPD, we came up with a new model, and this is talking a little bit about us. So Open CPD is a platform where training or event providers can create their own accreditation. We call it self-accreditation. I will explain in the next slide. But the most important thing is, with or without Open CPD, we have built the learn, earn, and share model. And the importance of the learning, it's not too difficult to explain why it's a good thing to learn. Lifelong learning is exploding around us. There are so many things that we need to learn, that we want to learn. The average lifespan of any learning or training that people receive now, it's something like 2.7 years. A lot of the training needs to be refreshed. I mean, obviously something lasts longer than others, but sometimes, whatever we learn today, we need to repeat, we need to learn new things all the time. So it is absolutely vital that that learning is effective and leaves a footprint. And that's the learn part of a learn, earn, and share model. Now, obviously, when people have learned what they learned, we're going to talk a little bit about the earning. They will have earned some document, which is going to be their certificate and their badge. And it's important that when they earned it, it's unique and verifiable. And once that has happened, most people stop there, but it's really important that the people who have participated in that learning can share their achievement. They can shout about it, and we make that easy as well. So this is what our platform does. You can do this with us. You can do it through your own means. It's it's um, it's an open world, but we're going to show you how we do it in Open CPD. So, in practice, the most important thing about your training and your the lifelong learning that you provide is that it has a backbone, and that backbone is what really gives it its value. The structured learning is what really makes it valuable, and it also makes it part of people's continued professional development. So this is what you can award CPD points or CPD hours against. So what we recommend is that you start with that backbone. Some people have already done that. Obviously, many training providers build their training material like that. Sometimes you do build it another way, so it's easy to tease it out afterwards, but it's always best practice to think about the structure. The second thing we recommend is that check if there are any requirements. Um, it is important that you are aware there are very few, but they do exist. Most of lifelong learning in the UK and worldwide is not regulated, and it's really important to understand that the learning that you provide is your learning, your accreditation. However, there are certain restrictions, very few. If you need to know what they are, for example, you can't give an academic qualification without being regulated, for example, in the United Kingdom. Uh, those are very few and far between. We can help you find the right professional body, but the vast majority of lifelong learning is not controlled, not accredited centrally, not regulated. It is really up to the training provider to ensure that the training they deliver is the right structure and it provides the right lifelong learning and continuous professional development. And also, we're going to give you some tips how to make that process simple and easy. It sounds like a big task, all these things that you have to remember. We as they always say, there is an app for that. Our app is precisely for that. And also, we're going to give you some tools, not part of our offer, not part of our platform. It's just tools that we developed and we're very happy to share for everybody's benefit. So, why use self-accreditation? What is this self-accreditation? I was talking about it on the previous slide. It is really our learning and our life is so varied. In most cases, it's very difficult to find somebody who is an authority on that particular thing. So most of the time, in fact, in lifelong learning, that is the case. What defines the value of accreditation, the value of the training that CPD is defining the aims and the skills and the outcomes. Because if you do that, anybody who looks at the certificate will be able to evaluate and will be able to place that learning event in the right framework, in the right time. What was that all about? You don't have to do the whole content. The important thing is the aims, the skills, and the outcomes. And and that is who would be the best place to do that. It is the training provider themselves. Who else could mark your homework? It is your responsibility and your learning. And this is why we say that the value of CPD is hidden in plain sight, because it is simply in the structure. Let's have a quick example about today. what is today all about? So if you take today is a lifelong learning event, hopefully at the end of the session, you will have taken away some learning. And the aim for the learning today is to understand the role of accreditation and the importance of structuring that accreditation in lifelong learning. So when you generate aims, when you define the aims, this is what will be our aim for today. The skills that I'm going to teach you today is a little bit about how to go about defining those aims and skills and outcomes. I'm going to give you some tools that you will be able to use. And the outcomes for today, it's a very short session. The outcomes for today will be we will define what you will be able to do at the end of the session that you couldn't do at the beginning, which is very simply you will be able to use aim, skills, and outcomes. You will know how to use social media to share the achievement of a participant, in this case yourselves, of today's event. And you will also learn how you can make changes in your own environment, in your own business, to apply this learn, earn, and share model to your own lifelong learning courses or events. So that's a practical example. This is how it's done. Now, if we carry on this practical example, this is where you can see how Open CPD differs from everybody else practically out there, because what we understand is that the certificate, which is this is a sample certificate that you can see here, is something that we know that it starts with the first page, and in fact we have a number of templates in the system. This is one of our favorite templates, but there are several, and they're similar to any PDF document that people would receive at the end of their training session. But it does have a twist, because it doesn't stop at page 1. It carries on, and all the information that you have defined, the aims, skills, and outcomes, the details of the learning provider, yourselves, and also the details of the trainee are also incorporated into the document. And basically we build one record, one training record that has all the relevant information that anybody could possibly ask about that event or training or course. And we create a single document with all the information necessary. And this is what will then leave the footprint and will become the certificate itself. In our case, again, I mentioned that we are defining the aim, skills, and outcomes for today. Now, we have a secret friend that helped us do that, and that will be shared in the slides. We actually create a little chatbot that will help us identify that. So you are not, if you already have this and you have got your training material ready and this is how you built it, obviously you won't need it. But some people do, or maybe you're setting out creating a new training. So we have created a little chatbot to help you identify, just pull out the aims and the skills and the outcomes. All you need to do is give it a broad description, a bit more than a title. It might ask some more questions, but it will tell you what you should be doing. It's not going to tell you what you will do, but it's a step, and it helps you identify, just pull out that learning content from your description. And then, so if you can imagine that we have built this beautiful certificate with the aims and skills and outcomes, we have a few tasks. We also want to make sure that it is unique, it is verifiable, and it's tamper-proof. And of course, again, this is something that you don't need us to do it, but we have built the right tools and the right technology, which is blockchain backed. It's a Web3 technology. It helps us making sure that your certificates are unique and verifiable, and they can't be tampered with. And the way we do this is every certificate has an ID which is verifiable on our website. So if you put this ID of the of the certificate, and as well as the provider, the training provider as well, it will identify their details, and you can check that this is exactly what it says on the certificate. It hasn't changed. But we go one step further, and we don't just create a certificate. The same information, which the certificate itself is a PDF document, which is obviously very handy. People can print it, people can save it. We recommend that it is downloaded, but it is a relatively large document. It has several pages. It's A4. It's not always that the best format to use. So in the same transaction at the same time, we also create a little badge. The badge is no more than a little image, an image file, but we squeeze a lot of information into that image. We update the metadata, which means that um, uh, your trainees will receive two things. They will receive a certificate and they will receive a badge, but they're verified together. They relate to the same event. So the same information that is printed page after page, it's squeezed into a little badge. It's hidden behind the scenes, but it's also verifiable. So the badge and the certificates um, are independent and independently verifiable. Now, here we have a little, which I skipped very quickly, some details of how the platform actually works in practice. We recommend that you have a quick look. It will be included in the slides as well, but I'm not going to go through during the webinar on the platform itself. So we have, if you think about this, you have done what most people do at this point is they have created a learning event, they defined the structure, they might have even issued a certificate, and that's where usually everybody stops. However, and this is the really fun bit and the cherry on the cake, is your attendees can share their achievement, they can share their certificates, as well as making sure that your brand leaves a footprint. Your organization, your training organization can benefit from all the training and all the publicity your trainees create. So why do that? Well, first of all, when somebody's completed a training and receives something, they're really proud of it, proud of their achievement. They want to shout about it, but also that reinforces the learning itself. They will cement it in their mind what that was all about. It's not forgotten. Obviously, this is the best form of branding content. Obviously, users will generate it for you, and you can build that into your training. You can tell them that this is something they're going to receive, and this is value that they can showcase to the rest of the world. And let's see how they do that. So our badges can be added to LinkedIn. LinkedIn already has a little section called certifications and licenses where these badges go. And this is the really important bit, they link back to you. We give in these little videos, we give people instructions how to link back to your LinkedIn organization. So if any time somebody does a search, you show up, this badge, this learning was provided by yourselves. Similarly to Facebook, Facebook is a little bit more varied, but again, Facebook has a place for these badges. And of course, many people want to add these little badges to their CV, because you can't really put whole documents in there, but you can put little badges. They look pretty, but they also have information embedded in them, which is visible to all the CV management tools that marketers use. So again, this is a way of giving more information, squeezing more information into that CV, or as it happens, into an email signature. And if you want to do it, we actually give them information of how to do, what to do about how to use. This is the recipients who will receive these certificates. We also tell them how to use them to their advantage. So we have finally got to the end of the webinar today. I hope that you have learned all these really important bits and pieces. I will be, when I finish the presentation, I will be staying on and issue some of the certificates to the attendees, but that part won't be recorded. So I want to leave you with the next steps. First of all, we love talking to you. We love hearing from training providers. So do reach out. You can book a demo. It's www.opencpd.com/demo. It's not a demo, it's a chat. Okay. There's nothing to buy. You're not going to get the hard sale. This is how we learn about your needs, and this is how we can help you get to the right place with your certification. It's just a chat. But of course, we are a platform, so we have different packages to help you sign up. And the beauty is that it's very much based on usage. You don't have to pay for accreditation up front. All you need to do is decide how many certificates you are planning to issue. We are very, very, very cost effective. You only pay for what you use, and it's very, very quick to set up. So it's a self-service platform. Go on there. We have different packages. If you're not sure which one, reach out to us. We'll talk you through. And thank you for joining today's. And as a thank you, we'll give you a little bit of a discount, which will give you 10% off of our extremely low prices already. So thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Marta. I'd love to hear from you. This is my email address, and please stay on. I'm just going to close the recording, and I look forward to talking with you in detail in a minute. Thank you, and bye-bye.